How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. The crash is worse than ever. People are more bearish on the crash than I've ever seen. And to be clear, Bitcoin is down maybe 20%. This is not the worst crash we've ever seen in Bitcoin by a percent framework. This is also isn't the worst that we've ever seen in the stock market. We're seeing the NASDAQ fall down about 10%. The S&P 500 fall down 7%, but people's sentiment is extremely bearish. Like I said, maybe the worst I've seen ever, at least for how big the correction is. I think it's overblown. Of course, 2022 was much worse. It was actually one of the worst opens, like the first 6 months of the stock market that we've ever seen, with the NASDAQ falling about 33% in the first 6 months of the year. But sentiment seems almost as bad right now. I want to go through this. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. There are links underneath the video in case you want to check out WEEX, BTCC, Blowfin, BTCC, or Hotcoin. We'll talk about crypto a bit, but take a look at this. 1 year US investor sentiment survey. Bearish, 60.6%. Bullish, 19.38%. Just this big divergence recently. And was this the case at the beginning of the year or the end of last year when valuations were getting really high? No, it's after we've actually seen a correction. People are like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm looking at the stock market now, and it does seem like the PE ratio is quite high. I'm bearish now. Like I said, 60% of people are bearish, 20% are bullish, 20% neutral. Just really fascinating. I was looking at Google Trends last night, and take a look at this stock crash. This was on a scale of just the. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. This just looked at the 1 year, around January 1 each year. What is the volume? I think it just aggregated for the year. 2020, it wasn't actually that high. 2018 was a little bit higher back when we saw a crash towards the end of the year. But look at this. 2025 spiking to new highs. And actually, I think this January 1 was actually around here. So yeah, we did have a lot of people looking around 2020, looking at looking at the stock market crashing. Back in 2018, people were looking at the stock market crashing. Back in 2009, 2010, people were looking at it. But now more people than ever searching for stock crash. That is what I'm searching for here. Stock crash. That's pretty crazy when you consider we aren't even seeing a technical crash. I mean, this is a 10% pullback after a lot of stocks were at very high valuations. You can see just a general uptrend over time as well. I'd say compared to a lot of search terms too, this day is relatively high. People are searching for this a decent amount. Maybe part of that is every year we see a pullback of some sort, right? 5, 10, 15%, something like that. But I thought this was really fascinating to see this hitting new all-time highs this year. Now, it's not just people worried about the stock market. People are also worried about Bitcoin. I mean, back in 2017, we have a spike. Around 2021, we have a spike. And actually, now we have a spike as well, which is, again, fascinating because when you think about this, again, it is rounded. So it's only 1 year increments when I was looking at it. But 2017, January, that was actually a pretty good time to be buying. 2021, January 1 is when this next point happens. And that was a pretty great time to be buying as well. So a lot of the time this crash happens once we see a bit of a push up in price from the bear market, but I think it's when we start to see a pullback. So we're seeing more people come into the market, and then people get worried because we see a 30% pullback or something like that. And that's what we're seeing now. Now, we're not at the same levels that we were at before, but that almost makes you feel more bullish. The fact that we're not seeing as many people look up crash, maybe it's because they don't care. Maybe it's because retail hasn't really come back in yet. But you would think that with every cycle, I mean, you see a slightly higher bottom, slightly higher highs. You would think we really wouldn't see a full bear market until a lot of people are coming into the market, which would be up here. So maybe we have further to go. But I just felt like it was fascinating to look at how many people are bearish. Like I said, so many people think the bull market's over. So many people are worried about valuations. There's so much cash on the sidelines already. Like, we're hitting record highs for money markets. We're hitting record highs for what's in people's bank accounts and CDs and, like I said, money markets as well. The fact is, there is a lot of cash on the sideline. I've talked to a handful of wealthy investors around me, and yeah, a lot of them are sitting on cash. Like, they just can't find things that cash flow well. They can't see, they can't find good valuations for assets, whether it's real estate or stocks or even crypto they've been buying in the bear market. They have businesses that spit off a lot of cash flow, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year, and they just don't have anywhere to put it that they feel like is a decent value. So they're sitting on a lot of cash just waiting. So that almost, that makes you wonder how far are things really going to dip? If you have all these buyers, whether it's Bitcoin, real estate, stocks, how far are things going to dip before people start buying them up because they're at decent valuations? Hey, I can get a 7% cash flow. Hey, I can get, a 15 price to operating cash flow on the stock. I can buy Bitcoin on a 30% dip, and I want to increase my allocation to 10, 15% of my portfolio because it outpaces the general market. Makes you wonder, right? How far are people going to let things go? I mean, unless we see some kind of macroeconomic downturn or some big layoff or some, the unemployment rate going up substantially, I think we're going to have a very strong economy. I think we're going to have a very strong market. I think we're going to have I think asset prices are going to go up because the wealthy people, if you're a wealthy person, let's say you make $1 million a year, what do you spend? $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, maybe $200,000, $300,000 of taxes. Again, just rounding it here doesn't really matter, but you can see hundreds of thousands of dollars left over each year. You go buy assets. There are tons of people in that situation. So there are a lot of people that are looking to allocate, and yeah, they'll buy up assets, even if they don't really make a ton of sense, just because they need somewhere to store their wealth that performs slightly better than a 4% money market. I could always be wrong. But with the market being this bearish, it strikes me as more of a bullish thing than anything else. Let me know your thoughts though underneath the video. Again, if you do want to trade crypto, there are links underneath the video to all the different exchanges. Let me know, are you bearish or bullish down below in the comment section? Just on the general market, or you can do specifically crypto if you're interested. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, hit subscribe if you want to see future videos, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.